Hey, what's going on everyone? It's your boy Redstone9X here and welcome back to another command block tutorial video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do right-click detection commands in Minecraft. And what I mean by that is you can pretty much guess by the title that these commands will allow you to do certain actions when you right-click on certain items. By the way, these commands do require you to turn the items into consumable items first for this to work. So if you guys want more information on how to turn items into consumable items, go check out this video I did a little over a month ago covering that sort of thing. Link will be in the description down below for that video after you finish watching this one. And now, before I go into more details on what those commands are to make this work, you know the drill. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss another video. Apart from that, guys, let's begin today's video. Okay guys, so here are all the commands right here. So it's just only a handful of commands to make this all work out for the 3 examples I've got to show you right in front of me. And, as always, all of these commands here will be in the description down below so you guys can copy and paste them into your world later on. Now, let us begin. So first off, as always, I'm going to demonstrate how this works. So I'm going to turn this on and then turn these commands on. Now I've got 3 items. An emerald, a glistering melon slice, and an iron ingot. So we're going to start off with the emerald. So if you guys have watched my consumable item commands video from I did over a month ago, you'll know how this works. So when you right click on the emerald, this happens. I get a message in the chat saying I'm feeling lucky. And also I get these 2 potion effects. Hero of the Village 2 and Luck 2 for 30 seconds. Pretty nice, huh? And as you just saw, once I used it, the emerald disappeared. And now for the Glistering Melon Slice. Now this one works a little differently because this pretty much acts like if it was a food item. By that I mean this. It gives you hunger points back, and the other cool thing is, it gives you a free golden ingot. And also, as you notice, it did not disappear from my inventory. So with this, you can pretty much use this as many times as you want. Which is pretty nice. And the same goes for this iron ingot, which this one is slightly different from the emerald and the glistering melon slice on account of this iron ingot has a cooldown. Which, by the way, I did a video on this about a couple weeks ago about item cooldown commands, so I'll leave that video down below in the description after you finish watching this video as well. So anyway, when I right click on this iron ingot, as you can see, I summon in an iron golem, and the iron ingot was on a bit of a cooldown before I can use it again. So let's summon in some mobs. So let's say you're being chased by a bunch of husks, and if you got this special iron ingot with you, you can pretty much summon in some extra help. Just like that, but you do have to wait a few seconds before using it. Of course. Look at that. Summoned 3 personal iron golem bodyguards just with this iron ingot right here. Pretty nice, huh? So that is a few of the possibilities you can do with these right-click detection commands, if that makes sense. Obviously, you can do a lot more, but this is just what you can do, pretty much. Okay, so now that you've seen that, let's go over the commands to making this all work out. So first things first, we need a couple scoreboard commands to make this all work out. Starting with this one right here. So it's scoreboard objectives add, and then you do emerald right here, and then you do minecraft.used:/minecraft.emerald right over here. And by the way, you do not need to have the scoreboard name to this. It could be any name you want, by the way. But that's just the name I decided to give this for the purpose of this video. And then this command simply removes that scoreboard if needed. Then we're moving on to this one, which is pretty much exactly the same as the last one, except we want to change the name to glistering_melon_slice, which again, it doesn't have to be this name. And then here, you want to make sure you change the item type to Glistering _melon _slice at the end here. And then this command simply removes that scoreboard if needed. And then lastly, same thing as the other two, except we want to change the scoreboard name to iron _ingot, which again can be changed. And then make sure at the end here you change the item to iron _ingot. And then this command simply removes that scoreboard if needed. Pretty standard stuff. Now, before I get into these commands over here, I want to go over a quick thing first. About certain items that don't need or won't work properly with this method. And that is items that already have a right-click function, like a carrot on a stick, which by the way is the most common way to have right-click detection on certain items, like you having that in your offhand while having another item. And I've done it in a few of my videos before, too. An ender pearl, or even a consumable food item, pretty much. Right-click detection. And of course, items that have a left-click function, which is a sword, axe, and pickaxe, pretty much most tools and weapons. And as for the reasons why, for ones that already have a right-click detection, because the scoreboard that we're using, minecraft.use, minecraft. and then you put your item, already detects if the item has been used from right-clicking by default. Because before, the other items that I've shown you as examples, they cannot be right-clicked by default, so that's why we have to turn them into consumable items first for the scoreboard command to work properly, if that makes sense. These items do not need that. And as for the items with the left-click function, it's because the scoreboard command that I just said before, by default detects if the item has been used from left-clicking it. So this means doing this method, the item will be able to be activated either by left-clicking it or by quote-unquote right-clicking it. And depending on the left-clicking item, can be a bit tricky / difficult to limit it to just activating the item from right-clicking it. So for example, a weapon can be a bit tricky to make it so that you only have to right-click it for it to do a special thing, because weapons and tools by default you have to left-click or attack mobs or even break them if you're using a tool, if that makes sense. But just because it's tricky does not mean it's impossible. Just want to put that out there. But again, it ultimately depends on the item. So anyway, now we're going to move on to the commands which activate the right clickable items. Starting with these ones, which are for the emerald. Which this command activates the emerald scoreboard. So it's execute at P, run execute as at R at S, if entity at S, and inside brackets we do scores equals, inside color brackets we do emerald equals 1, 2 dots at the end, close both brackets, and then here you do run scoreboard player set at E, and inside brackets we do the same thing here, and then you put the same scoreboard name with 0 at the end here. And then this command simply gives you hero of the village. So here it's just a simple execute at P, run effect give at P, and then here you do Minecraft : hero _of_the _village for 30 seconds, 1 for the amplifier, and true for no particle effect. And then same thing with this command, which gives you luck for 30 seconds, 1 for the amplifier as well, and true for no particle effect. And then this command puts a special message in the chat. So same first bit here, except we do this. Run tell raw at P, and inside brackets we just put in the information for the special message called I'm feeling lucky, as you see right here. And before you guys ask, can't I just put the potion effects into the consumable item itself? The answer is yes, you can. But it could also be helpful if you want to make it so that certain people on a certain team or have a certain tag, use the potion effect instead of giving it to literally anyone you want, if that makes sense. Okay, so anyway, excuse me, Mr. Iron Golem. Where was I? Okay, so now we're moving on to the commands which activate the right-clickable Glistering Melon Slice. Starting with this command right here, which activates the scoreboard. So this command right here is pretty much exactly the same as the one for the emerald, except here we want to change the scoreboard name to glistering_melon_slice equals 1, 2 dots at the end, close both brackets, and then you put the same thing right over here, and then put the same scoreboard name here with 0 at the end. Now this next command right here immediately replaces the item in your main hand. So this pretty much is the way you can get the item back so that you can continuously use the item when you right click it. So it's execute at P, run item replace entity at P, and then here we do weapon.mainHand with, and then put in all the information for the special Glistering Melon Slice as you see here. And then this command gives you the gold ingots. So here it's just a simple execute at P, run give at P, Minecraft : gold_ingot right here. And now these three commands are for the right clickable iron ingot. And we're gonna start with this command which activates the scoreboard for it. Excuse me again, sir. So again, pretty much exactly the same as the last two I just showed you, except here we need to change the name to iron_ingot equals 1, 2 dots at the end, close both brackets, and then here we put the same scoreboard name, and then over here as well with 0 at the end here. And then this command immediately replaces the item in your main hand. So as you can see, same first bit as the one for the Glistering Melon Slice, except in the second half we want to put in all the information for the special iron ingot as you see here. And then this command simply summons an iron golem. So it's just a simple execute at P, run summon Minecraft : iron_golem with 3 squiggly lines right here. So that's pretty much all there is to it with right-click detection commands for the 3 items I had to show you. So before we end off this video, we're actually gonna go upstairs, because I've actually got 2 bonus commands which they'll be left as a pinned comment down below. Hold on, let me do time set day. So the difference with these items, they have custom names and they also have cooldowns. So we're gonna turn this on, and then turn this on as well as this. So the 2 items I got are Lightning Rod version 2 and the Heavy Slam Mace version 2. I'm gonna get some mobs real quick. And also some armor, but we might save that for a little later. So with the Lightning Rod version 2, as the lore says, right click to bring down some lightning strikes. So when you right click, look at that. Made a little anvil noise and also summoned some lightning right in front of you. And also, as you saw for a minute there, it's on a bit of a cooldown. So we're gonna test it on some mobs. And when I right click, lightning. And this is actually a bit of an improvement to the last few times I did a lightning rod, because those other times I pretty much had to hit the mobs directly with this in order for lightning to strike on them. But with this, I can pretty much summon in lightning from a distance and do damage that way. But that, they don't stand a chance. Same thing with Vindicators. Lightning. and of course Ravagers. And with that, gone. So that was the Lightning Rod V2. So now let's move on to the Heavy Slam Mace. So with this, as you can see, so hitting the mobs directly does not activate anything, as I intended it to be. So when you right click with this mace, you get Jump Boost 5 and Strength 2 for 10 seconds, long enough for you to strike your enemies. Which is on a bit of a cooldown, so you do have to wait. Okay, so let's do it again. So at least with the jump boost, it makes using the mace that much easier for you, and with the strength, it gives you an extra bit of a kick to take out mobs. Same thing with Vindicators. And of course, this one.
Nope.
Oh, ran out. Okay, there we go. Yeah, make sure you keep in mind that, again, it is on 10 seconds, so the moment you run out, make sure to right-click immediately before attacking. And of course, same thing with Ravagers, but let me put on some armor first before taking them on. And with that, they're gone. And you can kind of imagine how overpowered it will be having both together to do this. Look at that. The powers of both of these items took out those mobs much quicker than they did separately on their own. Okay, so now that you've seen that, let's go over the commands into making these bonus commands work out. So be back in a sec.
A few moments later.
Okay, so first things first, the scoreboard commands into making this all work out, which by the way are pretty much going to be exactly the same as the ones I've shown you below. Starting with this one, which is for the lightning rod. So as you can see, exactly the same, except we have the name to lightning underscore rod underscore v2, and then here you just do minecraft.used colon minecraft.blaze underscore rod right here. And then this command simply removes that scoreboard if needed. And then same thing with this one, except we change the name to heavy underscore slam underscore mace underscore v2. And then here you just do minecraft.used colon minecraft.mace right over here. And then this command simply removes that scoreboard if needed. Pretty standard stuff. So now we're going to move on to the commands which activate those right clickable items. Starting with these ones which are for the lightning rod v2. Which this first one will activate its scoreboard. So pretty much exactly the same commands as the ones I've shown you before, except here we just do lightning underscore rod underscore v2 equals 1, 2 dots at the end, close both brackets, and then here you put the same information in this bit, and also put that same scoreboard name here with 0 at the end. And then this command immediately replaces the item in your hand, so that way you can continuously use it. So same thing as the ones I showed you below, except here, we just want to put in all the information for the special blaze rod named Lightning Rod V2, as you see here. and then this command simply summons lightning. So here is just a simple execute at P, run summon Minecraft lightning underscore bolt, and then you want to do 3 up arrows like this, with 1 here and 4 here. And then these 2 commands will give you fire resistance and resistance. This is pretty much to prevent you taking any sort of damage from the lightning bolt. So here is just a simple execute at P, run effect give at P, Minecraft fire underscore resistance for 1 second, 4 for the amplifier, and true for no particle effect. And same thing with the one that gives you resistance, and we do for 1 second, 4 for the amplifier as well, and true for no particle effect. So now we're moving on to the commands which will activate the Heavy Slam Mace V2. And remember what I said before about it being a little tricky to do the same thing for items that have left clicking functions in terms of the scoreboard commands? Well, you'll see what I mean here, because these commands, it requires you to do something slightly different, but not entirely that different from the other right-clicking items that we've done before. Starting with this one, which will detect if you're holding the Heavy Slam Mace V2. So here you just want to do execute if entity at P, and inside brackets we do MBT equals. Inside these color brackets we do selected item ID Minecraft mace components, and then here you just do Minecraft custom underscore data and then in these brackets we do heavy underscore slam underscore mace underscore v2 1b, and then close all these brackets at the end here. And make sure you set this command to always active as well, so they have a redstone comparator like this leading into these next 4 in front of me. So this next command right here activates the Heavy Slam Mace V2 scoreboard while you are on the ground and haven't attacked any mobs. So this will be the part on how you make it so that you only need to right click, and left clicking it will not work to activate the abilities. So it's execute at P, and inside brackets we do MBT equals. Inside curly brackets we do on the ground 1b, and in here we want to do this run execute unless entity at E, and inside brackets we do MBT equals. Inside curly brackets we do hurt time 10 seconds. So this bit, we usually would use this to detect if you have hit mobs by using if instead of unless, so this will pretty much do the opposite. And then the rest is pretty much exactly the same as the others I've shown you, except we want to put the scoreboard name heavy underscore slam underscore mace underscore v2 equals 1, 2 dots at the end, close both brackets, and then here we put the same scoreboard name here, and over here with 0 at the end. And then this command simply immediately replaces the item in your main hand. So this is pretty much exactly the same as the others I've shown you, except in this bit, we just want to make sure we put in all the information for the Heavy Slam Mace V2, as you see here. And then this command simply gives you jump boost. So as you see, nothing too crazy here. So you do execute at P, run effect give at P, Minecraft jump underscore boost for 10 seconds, 4 for the amplifier, and true for no particle effect. And same thing with strength, for 10 seconds, but this time 1 for the amplifier and true for no particle effect. Oh, and there's one other thing that has to go with this mace, which is this last command right here, which resets the scoreboard. By the way, very important, make sure to activate this command before using the mace. So it's scoreboard players reset at A, and inside brackets we pretty much do the same thing as before. Scores equals, inside curly brackets we do heavy underscore slam underscore mace underscore v2 equals 1, 2 dots at the end, close both brackets, and then you put the same scoreboard name at the end right here. And yeah, that is pretty much right-click detection commands in Minecraft. And that, my friends, is gonna wrap up for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. And turn on those notifications so you don't miss another video. Apart from that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next week in the next one. Goodbye.